Story 1. My sister and I have our ups and downs, but we are close and have a good relationship. I have never met my half-sister. Story 2. Honestly, we fought like cats and dogs growing up, but now we are basically best friends who roast each other for sport. I could not imagine life without them, but also could not imagine living with them again. Story 3. Virtually non-existent. Of 5 brothers, only 3 of us are left. I talk to each of them maybe 3 times a year. The other 2 will not talk to each other and probably never will. The 2 who died, I had not talked to them in over 30 years before they passed away. I did not even know they both had heart problems. Story 4. My brother and I were very close until I was about 12. Then he got a girlfriend, and we stopped talking and hanging out as much. After he graduated from high school, he was 5 years older than me, and went to college. He mostly stopped talking to everyone. Before my brother died, we realized that my mother had spent years telling each of us lies about the other. He said that was why he did not talk to me for so long, and I wondered why he did not come to me. Everyone knows my mother lies about almost everything. She is the type of person who will do anything you ask her not to do simply because you told her not to, so I learned never to trust her. We reconnected 2 years before he passed from COVID-19. Story 5. A cold relationship. We are not close to each other, and each of us lives in his own world. We do not even meet at the same dinner table. Story 6. Older sister is great. I have chosen not to talk to my younger sister anymore. My younger brother is deceased, so we rarely communicate. Every now and then he reaches out. Story 7. He used to be very annoying. He would be there for you when things were serious, but when they were not, he became insufferable. Now we don't talk much and see each other maybe once or twice a year. However, I know he is still there for me if things get serious. Story 8. My sibling and I were very close as children, had a complicated relationship as teenagers, and reconciled as adults. We have maintained a strong relationship for more than 10 years and share a long-term group of friends. We also had mutual friends growing up, so it makes sense. Story 9. We are all living our lives independently, but try to keep everyone updated with a family group text. Once the housing market becomes less challenging, the goal is to get a house in the same city as them so we can all be within 30 minutes of each other. However, I am not expecting any miracles from the economy anytime soon. Story 10. I could never handle the challenges of life without knowing that they always support me. I love them deeply until they take my clothes, though. Story 11. I have 1 brother and 1 sister, and they are my favorite people on the planet. I cannot even bear the thought of them not being in my life in some capacity. We have been through so much together, and we always come out stronger. Story 12. We do not speak because we are 2 extremely different people who would not be friends anyway. Story 13. My brother and I are very close. We are 5 years apart, so initially I wasn't interested in having a younger sibling, and we did fight a lot when I began secondary school. I eventually became a protective older sister, and through shared experiences and growing up, we are now best friends. Story 14. We really get along and spend a lot of time together. We play video games, watch movies, and joke around. We do random things. It is great. I hope it stays that way. Story 15. My eldest brother and I had quite an age gap, but it was never an issue. We had a great relationship. He was protective and always looked out for me. I could share anything with him, including boy problems. He shaped my taste in music, movies, and series as well as my love for gaming and supernatural themes. Honestly, the person I am today is because of him. He shaped me. He passed away a few years ago, and I miss him so much every day. It hurts. He was my shelter, and without him, I feel like a part of me is gone. So lost and alone. Story 16. My brother and I have a good relationship. We are not the closest siblings I have ever met, but he is 6 years older than me, moved out when I was in high school, and has not lived closer than 3 hours away in the last 10 to 12 years. I really only see him a few times a year, even less since he got married. We text and are friendly, but we are not super close. Story 17. One brother is a completely insane conspiracy theorist. We used to be closer, but COVID affected his mental health. He literally cannot talk about anything normal and is incredibly judgmental. The other brother is okay. He is relatively normal now. He was a criminal for most of his life but turned it around in the last few years. We rarely hang out except at family events, but we talk regularly. He is going to come watch me cross the finish line at my first marathon this Sunday. Story 18. My brother and I are very close, and I am grateful for that. It is comforting to know he is always there for me, and I am there for him, especially with everything happening recently. We are both mischievous, so our antics, much to the annoyance of our friends, are frequent. Story 19. I have some older half-siblings, and when things were bad at home, I tried to reach out to see if there were any normal people in this family. I did not really find what I was looking for, but it definitely helped me grow as a person. Story 20. It was amazing. She is 11 years younger than me, and I cherished the big brother role. We had kids close in age and loved getting together. She has always been a drama queen and an attention seeker, exaggerating stories to earn both. But she is still a good person. Then Facebook and Instagram influenced her. She posted constantly, mostly false and twisted stories to get attention and praise. Her online life was nothing like her real life, and her real life was good, just not flashy enough for her, I guess. We drifted apart, and I don't talk to her anymore. There are many other factors I won't discuss because this post would be too long. I just prefer not to be involved with her. It is sad because we were close. Story 21. I'm a twin and I love my brother. Even if we have a huge fight, he knows that at the end of the day we will always be alright. Story 22. As luck would have it, I have an identical twin. We are still best friends at 55, and when we laugh together, the whole world goes away. Our wives are not particularly fond of this, but they understand. Story 23. My sister and I are roughly 10 years apart. She went through puberty when I was an annoying little kid. Then, just as she came out of it, I went in. It is safe to say we were not friends for the first 20 years of my life. Now she is the best friend I could ever ask for. And there is no one on earth I trust more. Story 24. Fought like cats and dogs when we were kids and ended up in the hospital once. After that I thought, damn, this guy is pretty cool. Now we're practically the same person. It helps that we are almost identical, and we prioritize Team Brother above most things. Go Team Brother. Story 25. I love my sister more than anything. We have a large age gap of 12 years, so I feel more like a mother than a sister. However, I do not have the responsibility to teach her. I lead by example. Story 26. I have 7 siblings, 2 full siblings and 5 half-siblings. However, I have only ever considered my full-blood siblings as truly family. There are 5 boys, I am the second oldest, and 3 girls. All 3 girls are younger. I have always seen myself as a family-oriented person and acted as the big brother to all 7 siblings. I also helped raise my 3 sisters. My mother practically raised all 8 of us alone. In recent years, I have been hurt deeply by 2 of my sisters. I am now 40, and we only get together for family funerals. It is very painful. Despite this, they all know I will always be there for them. I love them all. Story 27. Good but not great. We live on the other side of town from each other and have different friends, hobbies, and interests. We get along well when we are together at family events, but that is it. Story 28. My sister is my ride or die. We have been through so much together. I do not know what I would do without her. She is the only one who truly understands my family's complex dynamics. Story 29. I don't talk to my brother much. He and his wife really don't like to be bothered with other people's problems, so I don't bother them. Our mom has the same issue with them. Story 30. If not for my parents, I would not hear from him at all. He was not particularly fond of me growing up and during early adulthood. He let his frustration with the world out on me, and almost every interaction with him involved mocking or a screaming match. I was glad to see less of him when he started to work, to be honest. I got along well with his girlfriend and later wife, or so I thought. I had hoped this would be a way to finally get along with my brother. When they moved to her country, however, I was ghosted shortly after. I still do not know what happened. Was I annoying? Did I insult her? I tortured myself with every minute detail about our interactions and what might have triggered it. But now I think I just did not fit into their schedule and was low priority. More than a year later, she messaged me as if nothing had happened, and I answered shortly but politely. I had a panic attack about old wounds opening up. The fact I am typing this all out should give you a picture. She never followed up when that short conversation stopped. It seems insignificant, but this is still hurting me 4 years later. I do not want them in my life, at least not right now. He is successful in his field of work and has won an award in a national competition. I am proud of him and happy for him, but he was never someone I could rely on or confide in. He is just a painful memory. Story 31. Horrendous. I'm a tech enthusiast obsessed with space and science fiction. I work in the computer field and have posters of people like Albert Einstein and Richard Feynman on my walls. She is a Buddhist hippie painter who hasn't held a job in 20 years, barely surviving on soon-to-be drastically reduced child support and trying to sell paintings. During this time, she is parenting 3 children from a marriage that failed due to choosing to be polyamorous. Recently, she has been involved with at least one multi-level marketing scheme, spent money on healing crystals and vibes up brand quackery. She drives an hour one way to attend a weekly drum circle. She is pleasant to people as long as they are not me. If I so much as roll my eyes, she accosts me for being negative, but in a condescending way. Story 32. I am the oldest of 2 males, 2 years apart. We are both in our 50s. It was rocky during our childhood. We had some great times and some bad ones. For example, he destroyed the last of the cookies so I couldn't have them, so I punched him in the face, giving him a bloody nose. We were teenagers. In our 20s and 30s, things were pretty good, but he went off the rails in my opinion and bought into a lot of right-wing propaganda. We hardly ever talk anymore. It is an odd thing. We were raised together in the same household with the same parents. We share many similarities, including the same sense of humor and temperament, but we are also completely different. He is a far-right conservative. I am a liberal. He thinks college is stupid while I have 2 degrees. He is almost pathologically nostalgic, while I have always embraced the future and love technology. He is very gregarious and loves to party. I am awkward, have almost no friends, and hate any gatherings of over 6 people. Story 33. My relationship with my half-brother was pretty non-existent. The last time I saw him in person, I was 10. The last time I talked to him was 19 years ago. He died in 2021, and I didn't find out until 2024. He didn't attend our dad's funeral. I didn't even know his birthday until I read his obituary. My eldest sister and I have never been close. We did not get along when we were growing up. We almost get along now, but we are more long-distance close. She is the only call on big days type, such as birthdays and major holidays, and I'm okay with that. My older sister, who is the middle child, I get along with great. We don't talk every day, but we do call frequently. We tell each other our secrets, and I am close to her husband and her child. The funny thing is, my sisters are only a year apart, and there are 5 years between me and my oldest sister, and 4 years between me and my other sister. So I don't think it's an age thing, but more that my eldest sister and I have personalities that just clash. Story 34. One is quite good. We could talk more, but that's all right. The other is a MAGA supporter, and if it were not for my parents, I would not give her the time of day. She is a traitor to our family and country as far as I am concerned. Story 35. Well, my relationship with one sister is fine. We talk quite a bit in person but don't really communicate outside of that. I usually see her about twice a month because she doesn't live far away, and she hosts family events. With my other sister, I would say we have a pretty good relationship. We chat at least once a week about whatever is going on. I don't get to see her as much since she lives a few states away. Story 36. We had the usual headbutting as kids, but nothing serious enough to hate each other. The worst was when my older brother snapped after losing a game and actually beat me up, which was particularly awful since I am 3 years younger and a disabled girl. However, Dad disciplined him firmly for it, so I considered it even. He had some anger issues as a kid, but he resolved them. My little brother and I haven't really had any issues beyond typical childhood disagreements. We are in our 30s now. It's all behind us and was never very serious. We get along great. Story 37. Nearly non-existent, and when my mother dies, it will be completely non-existent. She is not a good person, good mother, good wife, good sister, or good anything. I genuinely do not know of any redeeming qualities she has. If my mother did not live with her, and it is for free childcare, not being a good daughter, I would have already forgotten about her. Luckily, my mother is probably only a few years from dying, so it is not long now. Story 38. She married a loudmouth racist supporter of Make America Great Again, and I do not plan on speaking to her again until she is divorced. Story 39. We have each other's backs. But there is a reason we live on opposite sides of the country. Any more than a few days in the same house and we start to fight. It has been like this all our lives. Story 40. My relationship with my siblings is a mix of chaos and loyalty. We fight over the silliest things, but at the end of the day, we have each other's backs no matter what. Growing up with them has been a roller coaster of laughter, arguments, and unforgettable memories. Story 41. Half-siblings who are all about 16 to 20 years older than me. I am cordial with my middle sister, but we are not particularly close because I would not associate with her at all if we were not related and she did not make the effort. I have not seen my oldest sister in decades and could not pick her out of a crowd. I do not know her and do not really have any feelings about her anymore, but she was sour, miserable, and very rude to me when I was a child. My brother and I speak about once every 10 years. We are not close because he is not the type of person I would associate with in any other circumstance. If I said I loved them, I would be lying, but I generally wish them well. Story 42. I have one sibling with whom I was pretty close when we were children. However, during high school, he bullied me for some reasons. I did not speak to him for about 5 years. Later, I wanted to let bygones be bygones. Years after that, I stayed at his place, but we clashed again. Then he did something horrific, and now he is dead to me. Story 43. Pretty good. We used to fight physically all the time. Now that we are older, I spend the night at his place every other month or so and just hang out. He also invited me to join his Dungeons and Dragons group, so I play with them every week now. Story 44. My brother and I get along, but I never see him. I live in Massachusetts and he lives in North Carolina. I work in healthcare and he is a police detective. We are both baseball and football fans, so we text sometimes and send each other items like mini helmets and starting lineup action figures for our birthdays. Story 45. My brother and I are moving into an apartment together. We have our differences, but we get along very well. My sister and I also get along, but she is much younger than me and lives a completely different lifestyle. Story 46. My older brother and I were very close until puberty, when we became complete opposites. I then became very close to my younger brother. I am still close to my older brother, but there is definitely a wedge of some sort between me and my younger brother. I am not exactly sure why, but it is there. Story 47. My sisters and I do not have a relationship anymore because of my mother. Now, it is just the occasional Happy New Year or Happy Birthday messages. Story 48. I have a decent relationship with my oldest sister, but I am closer to my middle sister. I am the youngest, and there is a 7 and 4-year age difference, respectively. Because of that, I cannot really blame them for what they said and did when I was growing up, but it has left its marks. I understand that as the youngest, I was probably a lot, maybe too much. Perhaps they resented me because of who I was. I am not sure. I know they love me. Sometimes I like it when my oldest sister texts me about something because it reminds me that she cares and knows I exist. Story 49. I would say we are about as distant as we have ever been. I see 2 of them sporadically during the year, typically on major holidays. I have no relationship with the third at all. There is no drama. We just did not grow up together, and there was never any bond formed. The relationships I do have with the 2 have started to fade over the last several years for various reasons. We are very different people. Their relationships with our parents are much closer than mine. None of us are very involved in each other's lives, and I do not see that changing in the future. Our worldviews, morals, and approaches to life are simply different. Story 50. Yay! A post where I can gush about my brother. He is honestly my best friend. We are less than a year apart and have always been there for each other. We get together every weekend and play video games. We text each other silly stuff. When I moved out of my parents' house, I cried. It wasn't just because I missed my parents. I did. But because I learned something important and realized I couldn't run into his room and tell him. Our parents didn't have a good relationship with their siblings. So they told us that no matter what happens in our relationship with our parents, my brother and I's relationship should be unbreakable. And it is. We've never had a truly serious argument that couldn't be fixed with, "Hey, did you see this? He is the most annoying person in the world. I swear it's a superpower, but somehow can say exactly what you need to hear." We've never said, "I love you," but somehow we know. We've both said we never needed to. Story 51. I do not care much for my older sister. We never got along. I only see her because I have children, and she is a great aunt to them. My younger brother and I see each other for only a few hours a year. We are friendly but not close. I cannot blame my parents' divorce for my lack of relationship with my siblings. My brother and I are two different people, and my sister always wanted sisters and never tried to build a relationship with us. It does not upset me that I do not have much of a relationship with them because it is just how my life has played out. Story 52. We hardly talk to each other since I had a bad temper as a kid. The last time we interacted, she threw a towel on my head. She buys me Christmas and birthday presents, but we never talk. Story 53. Like a roller coaster, thrilling, scream-inducing, and occasionally leaving me questioning my life choices. Story 54. Not great. I get really sad when I talk about how close others are with their siblings. My middle brother and I have never gotten along, and our fights went well beyond the normal scope of sibling conflict. He was diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder and has some other mental health issues that made our childhoods extremely difficult. He is making great strides lately, but unfortunately, due to some of his past actions, I don't know that I'll ever be able to forgive him or get close to him. My youngest brother is 17. I'm 26, and we don't have a lot in common. He's more interested in hanging out with his friends, which is normal at his age. I helped raise him, but it is disappointing that he's not really interested in hanging out anymore. I'm closer with my dog than either of my brothers. Story 55. Generally good. I have one older sister. She is only 14 months older than me. We grew up fighting like cats and dogs, but ended up in the same place after college and actually lived together for a while. She is one of my best friends. I love hanging out with her. We have many similar interests, the same sense of humor, and she is the only one who understands when it comes to our parents and extended family. That being said, we are both in our 30s now, and she still has this sense of being in charge between the two of us. Last week, we were thrifting and she called me over. I thought, oh, she found something I am going to like. But when I got there, she just handed me a piece of garbage she needed. Thrown away. No request, no words. She silently passed me the trash and kept looking through the racks. She had not considered throwing it away herself or that it was rude to make me cross the store, so she did not have to. She just had something she needed done, and I was there, so she had me do it. Honestly, I should have given it back, but I just went and threw it away. Whoops. Story 56. Not gonna lie, it was difficult being an only child for a while with mother issues and being very clingy. I was very jealous and aggressive towards my little sister. It took years to overcome, and even though I know I damaged our relationship, we are closer than ever now. We are like best friends. We go on camping trips and to the cinema together. Story 57. My brother and I have never liked each other. Most of my childhood memories of him involve physical or emotional abuse, random insults, and his need to demonstrate superiority at every opportunity. My life improved significantly the moment he moved out. I genuinely hope he has changed as a person because I worry about his wife a lot. Story 58. My half-sibling from my mother's side is 3 years old. A cheeky child, but I still love them. I do not know any of my half-siblings from my father's side. Story 59. I miss her. She passed last year. We were in a disagreement for a few years and never saw eye to eye. Hard lesson learned. Life is short and not promised. Some things cannot be buried, I get that, but if you are able to bury it and talk to your siblings, family, or friends, they will not be here one day. Story 60. I raised her literally. I was 11 when she came into my life. I am still her parent figure even though both of our parents are alive. Story 61. Had a rocky start with my younger brother, typical sibling rivalry when we were kids. Always competing, fighting over trivial things. But honestly, becoming adults changed everything. Now he is one of my closest friends. We talk almost daily about work, life decisions, and random topics. It is strange how the person who used to annoy you the most as a child becomes someone you genuinely want to spend time with. I think the turning point was when we both realized we were dealing with similar challenges as adults: career stress, relationships, and figuring life out. Suddenly, we had more in common than we thought. The best advice I would give to anyone with sibling drama is to give it time. Most of that childhood tension fades when you are both independent adults. Story 62. I have a younger brother who I do not speak to. He moved to a different city to live with his partner, but as long as he is happy, I am happy. I also have a half-sister whom I have never met and probably never will meet due to issues on my father's side of the family. Story 63. Both of my sisters and I have great relationships. My older brother is a very difficult person, and we do not get along well. Story 64. Splendid. We have lived in the same house, eventually owning apartments but still under the same roof, for 40 of the 43 years we have both been on this planet. We were always a very tight family. Since we lost both parents within 4 years, we have grown even closer. We now live in a two-family house and support each other whenever possible. Even with mundane daily things like, I am going to Lidl. Do you need anything? We both trust each other so much that we do not even exchange money for this. We both do that regularly, and in the end it will pretty much guaranteed even out. If it is something bigger, the one receiving the present will just wire a bunch of money to the other without being asked. It is honestly the most chill, supportive, and best arrangement it could be. Not least because we are both living alone and thus have no partners around to rely on for simple things like accepting parcels or driving the other back from the car workshop. Cooking something cool? Of course the other will get a pot. Want to put something on the grill and watch a movie and old family photos? We do that every few weeks. Story 65. I haven't talked one-on-one since the Obama administration. If I have something I think he needs to know or would like, and vice versa, I tell my parents to tell him for me because he is more receptive to them, even if we are at the same table. Almost 7 years between us and we have no common ground. Plus, he is kind of my parents' favorite, so I just retreat elsewhere in the house whenever we are both visiting home. We barely even look each other in the eyes. No major fallout or anything, and I don't even think we dislike each other. But we are practically strangers. Story 66. Older sister. Relatively close, but it's hard to keep up when you are many states apart. Also, her being a veteran means she is busy. Older twin brother. He lives up north and is very successful. I live and am stuck in Texas because of poor life choices in college backfiring on me financially, and I just got my life together at 28. We have one call a month to ensure we are both still alive and well for the most part. Story 67. My sister and I used to bicker a lot as kids and teenagers. We are okay now as adults, even though we are polar opposites. We are not super close. She lives in London and I live in the same town as my parents, but we are good. My dad and uncle are not particularly close either. My aunt is very controlling over my uncle. However, they see each other more these days, partly because my grandmother insisted that they meet up more. My girlfriend has 2 older brothers. Her older brother lives 15 miles away and is very emotionally distant with her. If it were not for his wife, I do not think he would even bother. The other brother lives in Australia, 10,000 miles away from us, and he makes more of an effort to keep in contact with her. Sibling relationships can be complicated. Story 68. My brothers and I know a lot about each other. Nothing horrible or inappropriate, but we are very close. We learn all this when we are drinking, so the filters on our mouths are gone. I love them very much. On my birthday, my little brother texted me, "Thank you for everything you have done for me. I love you." My baby brother texted me, "Thank you for raising me and giving me nothing but love and amazing life advice. I love you." Tears come to my eyes when I think about it. Story 69, very good actually, and I am very happy about it. My sister and I are like best friends. We are very close, and I love her very much. She is a very beautiful young woman now, and I am so proud of her. I also have two step-siblings, but I am not too close to them. However, I have a good bond and relationship with both of them. They both have their own lives, and my stepsister is about to become a mom. I could not be more proud. Story 70. It was great. We were close growing up and lived together for many years. Now my sister and I are estranged, and I hate it. I have tried multiple times to fix the relationship, but she has no interest, and it is very upsetting. Story 71. Not great. I am the oldest child and the only girl with two brothers. Our parents played us off against each other and clearly had a favorite. I try to reach out, but neither of them seems very interested. Story 72. A lot of siblings if you include half-siblings and step-siblings, and even with one living a block away last I checked, we are like strangers. This is likely mostly due to many parental issues in childhood and youth. It is lonely, especially when around significant others' families, which reminds me of my family who do not talk. Story 73. My brother is older than me by 7 years. When we were younger, we did not spend much time together. But later, when I was around 22 or 23, we became best friends. This continues to this day. Story 74. I am the second oldest of 6 children. We are all very close. I think what helped with that was having to live in very cramped quarters for a couple of years. We had to become close-knit. Story 75. We talk occasionally, but ever since Dad went to prison a while ago for inappropriate conduct, things have been awkward. It does not help that Mom made me the scapegoat for much of what happened growing up, so there was definitely some triangulation in the family. Story 76. We've never once fought. We have always been real good friends and have taken care of each other. I haven't seen my brother as much since I moved out, but we still talk online occasionally and share music and memes. I love my brother to death. Story 77. I'm on the autism spectrum. Growing up, I was not yet diagnosed and was teased mercilessly by both my sister and brother. In addition, my brother stole from everyone in the family and often framed me, which meant I would get punished for his crimes. Today, my brother is still dishonest and untrustworthy. He stole most of my parents' estates, and I have gone no contact with him. My sister and I have healed our relationship. The brother was the main instigator growing up. We live 2,000 miles apart but still chat once a week. Story 78. I have a good relationship with one of my sisters. She is the one I am closest to. Her stepdaughter and husband are awesome. She is my biggest cheerleader, and it is always great to see them. Unfortunately, she does not live close, so I only see her during major holidays every other year. My younger sister is more or less estranged at the moment. She stopped talking to me years ago and stopped inviting people over for my nephew's birthdays, eventually stopped celebrating them entirely. She tolerated my presence and we would talk during major holidays until that stopped too. We did not have a major disagreement. She just withdrew from contact. I see my nephew often, but she has since moved away to live with a friend. We do not know what is wrong with her. She will not seek therapy and will not speak with us to work things out. We used to be close and then one day we were not. My brother and I have an okay relationship, but he still lives with my parents at age 30 and has never really made any attempt to better his life. He has quit or been fired from almost every job he has had, and I worry about what will happen when my parents die. They are in their late 60s. Story 79. Depends on the sibling. I am close to one brother who lives on the other side of the country. I am on good terms with an older brother. With the other brothers, I am as polite as I can be when we are together. My sisters range from distant to completely estranged. They tend to take after my mother to some degree. I cut all contact with my mother at 25 due to her abusive nature, and most of my brothers followed suit. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.